So, it's late at night but I just randomly got the idea to do this. Disclaimer, there will be spoilers for both Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero. Basically, Subnautica plays in the future, but we don't know which year exactly it plays in. But we do know that things like space travel and fascigates exist. In the Subnautica universe there are different types of intelligent alien life forms. There's us, humans. And also creatures like the Sea Emperor or Sea Empress as some people call it, who are intelligent enough to have the ability to talk and use mind-controlling powers to interact with other species. So do the precursors or architects, but let's just say more advanced. Now that a lot of things are more cleared up, let's go with explaining the actual lore. A long time ago as the architects were discovering new worlds to study etc., they discovered a virus which we later named the Kera. The Kera virus spread through the different worlds that the architects had discovered already, resulting in over 1.5 billion deaths. Of those being only confirmed deaths. So reasonably the architects sent out a few people to a mission to find a cure to the virus. They ended up on planet 4546b. A planet which is 99% water. They ended up finding the cure, which was a specific Leviathan species called Sea Emperor, which were able to produce something called enzyme 42, which was the cure to the Kera bacterium. But turns out that the last of its kind is too old to produce that enzyme anymore. So what do? Exactly, they take the next best species to do research on. The sea dragon. They ended up instead of trying to hatch the Sea Emperor eggs. Which wasn't very successful, since no matter what they did, they wouldn't hatch. Even with force nothing could be done, so they basically accidentally killed a baby Sea Emperor. They tried it with sea dragon eggs, since their leader, and specific architect who we will come back to later, said it would be a good idea. Turns out it wasn't. Basically the sea dragon parent came attacking the research facility trying to get its child back, which made the facility collapse and setting the virus free on planet 4546b. By the way, the mother later died of head trauma. That part of the storyline is named, the Kera Outbreak, which happened around 1200 years ago. In the Kera Outbreak 7 architects died. The rest abandoned the mission, while one of them was trying to figure out how to store its mind into a computer. Now, many years later, humans started space traveling. They found abandoned precursor technology, such as fascigates. After some research, humans found out how to build these fascigates themselves, which helped a lot with space traveling. First of all, let's clear up what an Subnautica trans-government is. Is when a company owns a specific number of fascigates etc. I'm too lazy to explain this since it's not really that interesting. There were many governments at that time, but two of them were clearly the biggest, Altera, and Mongolia. We don't know much about it, but I think Altera killed off Mongolia or something. I don't really know much about that. Altera then banned all weapons, except for survival knives and other few things. Now, 12 years before the events of Below Zero, a ship called the Degassy was on its way to build a phase gate. Led by a family-run company called Torgal Corporation. The Degassy had 6 people on board. As they accidentally flew too close by planet 4546b, they get shot down by a giant alien laser beam, which was made by the architects to secure the planet, and to make sure the virus doesn't spread on more planets. The crash only survived 3 people. These people were Paul Torgal, leader of the Torgal Corporation, his son Bart Torgal, a 19-year-old guy with an interest for otherworldly life forms, plants, and glowing things. And one of their hired people, Marguerite Mader, basically a mad person who really likes slaughtering and killing everything, and is also a very positive person, Sarkissin by the way, yay. 6 weeks in, the survivors of the Degassy decide that they should actually go off the island and into the actual water. Not really, Mader kinda makes them. 200 meters down they are inside a random cave and try to build a base there, but surprise, it doesn't work for long. So Bart sends Mader away to get some stalker teeth to make the walls stronger so the base doesn't drown again. Mader basically kills some stalkers even though Bart told her to give them metal, but she never listens to anyone, so whatever. This entire plan still doesn't really work out. Mader tells the other that she found an even better place, half a kilometer down. Paul tells her that that's not a good idea and that they shouldn't go that deep. But they end up going anyways. One day Maida the psychopath decides to murder a Reaper Leviathan, at least so it seems. Brings it home to the base, but surprise, the Reaper isn't dead yet. It attacks the base, but Torgal left before all that because Paul and Maida were fighting again and he just snapped and left. The base breaks half down, and fills up with water. Paul gets attacked by the Reaper. Marguerite comes out of nowhere with a sharp piece of metal and tries stabbing the Reaper while it dragged her down into the deeper ocean. She got never seen again until recent events. And Paul, who's still traumatized of what just happened, slowly drowns to death while being cut into pieces by a crab squid. Bart returns back to the island and realizes that his condition gets worse, since he's been infected with the Kara virus for quite some time now too. He basically dies. The rescue ship Aurora arrives 10 years later, gets shot down too. Like 20 people of the 100 survive, all while you as the player are knocked out because you just got hit in the face with a piece of metal. Then they all die because they are all stupid idiots. You wake up, find out they're dead, find out about what happened to the Legacy crew, find out more about Altera, find out about the architects, call another rescue ship called the Sunbeam, which gets shot down too, but before any life pods can launch, it explodes and everything that's left of the ship crashes into the crater edge to never be seen again, and then you find out about the Sea Emperor. You basically free its children. They hatch. Wholesome moment. The Sea Empress dies. You cry. You deactivate the gun because you cured yourself from the virus, which you had too, which would have killed you if you wouldn't have helped the Sea Empress. You build a rocket ship, you fly back to Altera HQ. They tell you that you need to pay 3 trillion credit. Then the first game is done. 2 years later many things happened. Some girl named Sam blew herself up in an ice cave and killed another person named Keen too. Sam is the protagonist's sister. Robin Ayao, the protagonist, doesn't believe that Sam would do that, tries to land on the planet, but apparently doesn't know how to drive a spaceship, so she gets hit by a meteor and crashes on the planet too. A little bit later she gets a strange distress call, follows it. Ends up in a random ice cave filled with architect stuff. Yeah, I bet you forgot about those guys already. Here's a strange voice talking to her who admits to be one of them. Referring to the architects. The voice tells her that the facility will shut down in a few minutes. She offers to help. The architect misunderstands her, it possesses her, she gets mad, they fight. The voice tells her its name is Alan, she makes fun of that. He doesn't say anything anymore. A little bit later Robin goes on a random island, and boom, Maida appears out of nowhere. Yeah, that Legacy crackhead is surprisingly still alive. She threatens to kill her if she sets another foot on her Iceland, while she's in a prawn suit literally made out of Leviathan bones. She also tells her to stay away from her. After that Alan tells her to stay away from her. But of course you don't. You break into her sea base and before you or her can do anything about it, Maida's freaking murder job Snowstalker tries to rip your limbs off. Maida basically saves you. No, not really, she just tells her dog to stop. Then she leaves again because she wants to be alone. You find a voice log of her that is 2 minutes long exactly describing how she murdered that Reaper. After that whole thing, you continue trying to find out what really happened to your sister. Meanwhile Alan asks dumb question, and won't stop calling humanity idiotic, inferior and especially inefficient. Because those seem to be his favorite words. You later find out that your sister blew up the cave because Altera is trying to mutate the Kara bacterium, and she had to destroy their progress somehow, so she goes to the next door psychopath Maida, and asks her. She tells her to blow the ice cave up. Robin breaks down on her knees and admits she's feeling confused and doesn't know what to do anymore. Alan says something, which doesn't help a lot. Way later you get the materials to finally build Alan a physical form, so he's out of your head. But before you do that you ask him questions that he has to answer. He admits that he's responsible for the Kara outbreak and stuff. He epically gets physical. Robin is scared of him now. Alan asks her if he should delete her memory of him. She says no. He asks her if she wants to come with him. Robin says yes. And then the epic end scene plays. The end. There's no other Subnautica game yet.